feel. Well, there's a place I've come to know well, led by a man named Sty. He's full of stories, he is quite a guy. Sit around the campfire and hear him tell his tale. Some may be able to relate to him quite well. We're all just people looking for a place to go. Well, Sty has made one, and it is quite a show. Come meet Sty, he's quite the guy. If you're feeling lonely, come and make a friend. If you need a story, on Sty you can depend. His voice is soothing like a lullaby. Sometimes he brings a tear to my eye. Sit around the campfire and hear him tell his tale. Some may be able to relate to him quite well. We're all just people looking for a place to go. Well, Sty has made one, and it is quite a show. Come meet Sty, he's quite the guy.
Well, good evening, everybody. Hey, welcome to Sty Story Sunday. Yeah, it's another one. It's another one. I wonder if Sty's actually got any stories left. Don't worry about it, folks. Tons of them. Tons of them. I got all kinds of stories. I'm just full of it. Excuse me. I got to shout out them folks that are out there in the chat. Metal Music Maniac, he was the first one popped in. Yep. He says, because of the title of the story tonight, not the Hilton, he says, Chinese buying out our hotels, though I would rather not get into it. Yeah. Me, Devil, great to see you. I need coffee, and I think I have time to get it. I had time. I saw your comment come up, and I was chatting with my boy Running Waters. And I said, I got to get coffee, man. Stream's coming up quick. I got to get my coffee. And I saw Me Dibble's comment, and I said, hey, we're thinking alike. Got to grab that coffee. You bet. Texas Gamer Chick, awesome. It is so good to see you, and happy Sunday to you, too. Happy Sunday. And there's Kimberly Ferris. Awesome. I love it. I always love seeing Kimberly. And then Me Dibble popped up with another statement right away. And I tell you what, I was only, actually it was less. It was 45 seconds after Stowe's. It says, it's showtime on my studio. It was 45 seconds. I was stumbling around, had to throw running water in the basement and do that. So you're right. I was late, Me Dibble didn't even let it go a full minute. And he goes, you're late. I'm here. Hey, so many streams you go to, and it says waiting for the host. You don't have to wait long for me. There's Cinda Lou, sweetie. Great to see you. Great. And there's Justin Anderson. Awesome. All my regulars. And speaking of running water, there he is yelling, evening, y'all. Yeah. Oh my gosh, that must mean he's either below the Mason-Dixon or on his way there. Y'all. Oh, man, there's Dojo. Hey, buddy, great to see you. I was on a live stream Um, Shadow Scout Suite Urine had a stream yesterday. Usually only goes a couple hours. I was on that stream with them for 9 hours. And we were talking about survival and preparedness and prepping and all kinds of stuff and the outdoors and stuff. And Dojo came up, and Yorin and I talked quite a bit about Dojo and his allotment and how everything he grows there. It's awesome. It's awesome. The Dojo sets a good example for folks that would like to grow some of their own groceries. You betcha. Hey, Eric Pollock, it is so good to see you. Awesome. Awesome. There's Step Van Dan, right out of northern Minnesota. Yeah, I don't know if you're getting the snow we're getting, but we're forecasted to get 10 to 16 inches in the next 48 hours. I took the snowblower, put it up on the porch. It's sitting right outside the front door. All I got to do is step out the front door, walk about 3 feet, start that bugger, and head right off the porch with it 2 days from now. 48 hours from now. And we got Pepperson, Kentucky living in the house. That's great to see you. Great, great, great. There's Dean, the dancing machine. Hey, hey, great to see you. Oh my gosh. Tuna Emperor's in the house. It is so good to see you, Tuna. It's been a while. What a bunch. What a great bunch of folks. Hey, Ryan S. Welcome to the show. Hello, y'all. Awesome to see you. Great crowd. Here's your chance, folks. Share it out. Let the world know what's going on. The Cinda Lou says, no snow here, 75 outside right now. Man, I'm ready to hook up the adventure trailer and head down and visit Cinda Lou. Boy, oh boy. Yeah, it's not that terrible. It's 22 degrees right now and very cloudy. And the snow's supposed to start sometime early morning, like 2, 3 a.m. in the morning. And then it's supposed to snow straight through until Tuesday evening. So I'll be out there snow blowing probably during the day Tuesday and right after my Tuesday. Well, no, Tuesday's my YouTube day off, so I'll probably be snow blowing after dark. We'll see. It's crazy. Well, I got somebody in the basement that he's going to be coming home. But after the snowstorm, that little bugger, he's waiting it out. He's going to wait till after the snowstorm. He's going to be home around March 3rd. That gives me plenty of time to get all the snow cleared out, get his truck brushed off, make sure that he's ready to hit the road and do whatever he wants while he's at home. But I guess that's what he's got me here for. So here he is. We're going to bring him up here. We're going to get running water up here with us. There he is.
Evening, y'all.
Evening, y'all. You are heading down to Kentucky, aren't you?
Yeah. I'm in Missouri.
You're in Missouri right now, eh?
Yeah, I figured I'd attack St. Louis at like 3 a.m. when everybody's sleeping.
Yeah. Hey, Dojo, that's what Gemma Journey's Grace was saying today, is that 60 plus mile an hour winds over there in England right now. And boy, folks on the coast there, it's pretty, that's extreme. I'm glad we don't have those winds. We had 45 mile an hour winds the other day. And I was telling Running Water, I could hear that wind howling. I could see the curtains of this big picture window moving. And the furnace wasn't running. And I'm like, why are they moving? I went and looked out the curtain of our front door, the main door to the house. I looked out there and I go, Oh no, I can't even see the street. I can't even see out to the street. What is it? Running water, maybe 50 feet out to the street. And
Yeah, even. Yeah.
yeah, couldn't see it. Couldn't see the street at all. I thought, oh yeah, guess what? I'm not going out there. And all we got was 1 inch of snow. But that 1 inch, the winds at 45 miles an hour were so strong that it was a solid whiteout. It was just blowing what loose snow there was everywhere. It was bad. It was nasty. I can't, man, 60 mile an hour. I heard there were ice racing today. I wanted to go. But it looks like next Saturday they're having it's a kind of like a feature race next Saturday down there. Um, and they usually run cars with studded tires on them. They're ice racing. They're on the ice. Next Saturday, it's all non-studded tire class. So all of those stock cars out there are not allowed to run studded tires. That's when it gets interesting. There's a lot of wrecks, a lot of guys getting pushed off the track. So if I can do it, man, I'm getting down there and I'm going to film some racing next Saturday. Oh, thanks, Ryan, for mentioning it. I was going to get to that. Yes, Running Water and Bean got Driver of the Year of the entire company. And as you said, well deserved for a great guy. Thank you, Ryan, for pointing that out. Running Water, you know, he liked. That's the thing. The man likes his job, and he knows he can do it well, and he just puts that into it. And it, he doesn't expect the attention, but it was very nice that the company stepped up and gave him that pat on the back. And he sent me a picture of his Driver of the Year award, and that was pretty damn cool. I told him, I said, man, that's like getting your YouTube button, man. That's yeah, wow. I finally hit 100,000 viewers. Oh, I got my button. He got his Driver of the Year button. That's a pretty big deal because the outfit he drives for it's not a small outfit. So there's a lot of drivers out there. You got to be pretty doggone. You got to be doing your job to get an award like that. So congratulations, running.
Thank you.
So next Saturday it's a crash day. Yeah, that's my YouTube day off, but I'll be there trying to make YouTube content. Ryan, he appreciates that, and that's the thing, Ryan. You can count on him. If he can help you out, he'll do his best. That's just the man he is. It's just the man he is. Pretty damn dependable.
Oh, hi.
There's Beaner.
Yeah, look at the camera.
See, I thought about it the other day. I swear to God, Bean is they modeled the Bulldog on the front of our model Mac off of him. They used him because now I don't see that Bulldog on an old Mac as a Bulldog anymore. I see it as a Boston Terrier, man. That's Bean on the hood. I saw him old, long nose R model just 2 days ago, and I walked up and I'm looking at that old Bulldog on the hood, and I'm going, "That's Beaner, man. That's Beaner. That's it." Yeah. He's a good duck. I tell you, for a mascot, you couldn't get better. Shiva. For him, that's why I say if he was a full-time YouTuber, he would have been the same thrilled getting that button as he
Mhm.
is getting Driver of the Year. That's it. Yeah. The it's nice because he wasn't shooting to get Driver of the Year, were you?
No, no.
You just
Actually, it was like a last minute thing that even realized that I was, in the finalists, and it was
he
like,
was
okay.
just out there doing his job, and he didn't realize he was out there baking the cake and they were preparing the frosting for the end of the day. Yeah. So that's makes it that much better is he didn't intend on getting Driver of the Year. He just went out and did his job, and it was others that said, "Hey, check that shit out." Look at he really did it. He really did it. Let's give him the award. That's cool. Um, Ryan, yeah, I have him at 7 a.m. and 3 a.m., and he has always been there for me. That's the thing, too, with him, though, is boy, if he says, no, I'm heading out at 4 a.m., don't look him up at quarter after because he's gone. Yeah, yeah. Hey, Second Star, it is great to see you. Didn't we have a blast streaming together? Oh, there's Ryan. Almost didn't make it. Second Star Survival and I met um, through Yoren over at Shadow Sweet Scout Suite. How the heck his name is so long, but uh, yeah, we had a excellent chat. Excellent. It's great to see you. It's great to see you, brother. The Yeah, he almost didn't make it to the ceremony. He gave me the whole skinny on that there, Ryan. That yeah, it sounds like it was pretty. Yeah, it it looked like it just wasn't going to happen, and the the fact that he made it, that's yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Um, yeah, yeah. Second Star. This is kind of a good stream for you to show up to because this is my. I think it's probably one of the more important streams I do in a week is the Sty Story Sunday. And I just relate stories of things I've seen, heard, and experienced throughout my 65 years, and folks seem to like it. So we'll keep it that way. We'll just keep it going. And I tell the story at the half hour mark, approximately 1/2 hour after I start the stream. So we got another 10 minutes yet, and I'll be telling the story. There's E-Waste Mike. Hey, Sty, Running Water, and the great and awesome Bean. And there's Nick with NJ Garden Services. It's great to see you. Great to see you. The great Second Star. Great. I hope you enjoy. The I'm having a good time. Running Water and I were talking. I've got this V8 sound card, right? It's got all the sound effects, clapping, laughing, all that kind of garbage. Well, they're cheap. You can get one for about $15 off of Amazon for crying out loud. And for good reason. They are a freaking nightmare to try to get into your sound system, man. They are a nightmare. And the quality doesn't match the effort. It matches the price, but it doesn't match the effort. So I told him, I'm frustrated, man. I'm frustrated. Guess what, Running Water? Running Water tells me, go in my office and you see that big plastic case. It's like a gun case. And he says, in that gun case, there's a couple of soundboards in there. And he says, there's a microphone in there and some other stuff. And he says, go in there and grab one of those soundboards. He says, you might like the bigger one. It's got a lot more extra features and sounds on it. And it's more of a mid-range, higher range, much higher range than this thing I've been fighting with, right? Well, I grabbed that box about 20 minutes to a half hour ago and brought it in here, and I opened it. First thing I thought was, what a sweet gun case, man, for my handguns. Maybe I can use all the equipment in it, then I can put handguns in it. Yeah, but no, he bought me an awesome handgun field bag, so I better not steal his plastic case. But it's got an awesome soundboard in it with sound effects and that. So Tuesday, while I'm waiting for the snow to stop, I'll be playing with that, trying to integrate it into my soundboard and play with it and see if we can't add a little more, trick up the stream a little more. And I'd like to get background music and some things going on. And, I can use StreamYard's background music. Everybody's so happy about StreamYard's got background music. And I don't know if you folks have heard their background music. Enough to make me puke. I don't like any of it. I'm sorry. It's just not. It don't work for my channel.
Yeah, I went through it and was listening, just was playing them and just sitting here just doing other stuff and listening to them. And it gave me that feeling like I'm going up like a nursing home elevator. Yeah.
Or sitting in a bad dentist's office. Yeah.
Or I'm on hold to talk to the IRS and this.
Well, yeah, and that's how they're going to torture you. I don't know.
Yeah. Hold music intended to make you hang up. Yeah.
Okay, we're going to do this just so people can get a taste of it. So I'm cranking the volume up so that you can actually hear, and you can control it, get it real subtle in the background. But listen to this music that's made available to us, and everybody's hounding them. Let us upload our own royalty-free music. Don't make us live with this, but we'll see what they do. But here's the first one. They only have a few. The first one's acoustic cinematic. Listen to this. Would you love to listen to that? Love to listen to that. Well, you're hearing a Sty Story. Then this is dance pop. This works real good with my streams also. Great background music for my streams. To me, I'm sorry, but that sounds like somebody is having a real hard time flushing a futuristic toilet. Yeah. Daydreaming is the next one. Here it comes. I don't know what they think daydreaming's about, but that, boy, I tell you what, if I'm having daydreams like that, it would be a nightmare. Sorry. And now they got one. Here's one they call Feeding the Ducks. For crying out loud, who the heck would pick a song called Feeding the Ducks for background music? Now, picture a pond with ducks, and you're going to hear this in the background. What are they feeding those ducks? And that's supposed to be background music for your live stream. I don't know what they're feeding, but I don't think it's ducks. And then they've got Into Space. Well, yeah, this will put you out to the outer limits. I think that's the closest to actual usable.
I don't know. I kind of hear a song in there. You know, it's like it's a hard knock life.
Now this one is called Lofi. What's that? What's a Lofi for kind of
I
LOFI?
took one of those before the stream.
Oh, did the doctor prescribe it? Here it is. I don't know why it's called that. It's- maybe that's the after effects of taking a Lofi. Where's it going? Now, how do you fit a live stream conversation into that background? Now, here's one that Running Water should appreciate. He's out on the road and he does a live stream out his dash cam of his truck. This one is called Night Driving. And there he is, pounding down the highway in the middle of the night, and he's going to play this background music. You can't play that when you're driving at night. You're going to fall asleep behind the wheel. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, shit. Oh, God. Got in a wreck. Night driving. No, don't listen to that when you're night driving. And the last one they have is rock. Boy, we're jamming now. So
Every single one of them sound like, you know, a hotkey selection off of like an old '80s Casio keyboard.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Now, all right, I got to qualify everything we talked about and listening to all of that music available through StreamYard. I want you all to know I support StreamYard. I love them. Get StreamYard, use it. Get the free version. You know, use that. And if you decide, yeah, it's right for me, go ahead and get their paid version. And you know, I'll put that up there. I'll shut them out for a while. Powered by StreamYard. We're powered by StreamYard. Now I have the pro version of StreamYard. So I've got both my cameras are hooked up, and anytime I want I can just throw my other shot up there and I can say, hey, check out the studio where I'm at. Wow, ain't that just cool, you know? The I can do a lot more under pro, you know, real quick and just single button. But I have to tell you, as much as I love StreamYard, and I don't bitch about paying, that music selection, I wish they would have just said, put up, use nothing but royalty-free music. I see the mention over there about the non-copyrighted music available in the YouTube library, and I've used tons of it throughout my. I've got over 900 videos and streams posted up, and I've used YouTube library music on majority of them. I also pay for a subscription to Epidemic, and I can use Epidemic music royalty free because I pay for that licensing. Well, I just think, I don't know. I know they're concerned about as being a platform and a provider, okay, that they're concerned about the copyright issues and their monitoring responsibilities on from their platform level. And that's what they're working through. Once they get that sorted out, are they going to have to be like YouTube where they go, oh, well, we can't let you play that because it's copyrighted? Are they going to get claims put towards them for allowing you to put copyrighted stuff up? So they're sorting that out. How do you get past that? And I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal because we're required as creators to make sure we don't use copyright. But if we do, StreamYard is not our destination. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, those are the destinations. They have the monitoring and responsibility, and they do. They monitor and manage that. So I think they'll get around it. And then we'll be able to upload our own music clips.
Yeah. Well, and that's what your mixer's for, though. And when I come home, can help you set that up. That you get your epidemic music or whatever, which you've got license for.
Oh yeah.
And you can have that on a separate channel to add volume down and control that separate.
No
because it's all going to go through the same mic source. Audio.
Right. It'll be just like me using the soundboard. The soundboard will be running on a separate channel. If I want to have clapping or something, I can just hit a key and it's going to, through that channel, it'll be everybody here. All the mics on StreamYard are literally that they're overvoicing anything on those other channels. Those other channels will be tweaked down that they come in. They don't mute these mics. These mics are it treats it like this is built into my microphone. Anything else through that soundboard is actually going through my mic and out. So it's pretty seamless, and it'll be good because I start filling some of these slots on that soundboard. It's that time, buddy. Time for me to get the Sty story out of the way. And what I'm going to do here is we're going to do this. There he is. He didn't go anywhere. He just kind of standing off to the side. Okay, here's your Sty story for tonight. Not the Hilton. All right. What in the world does he mean by not the Hilton? Well, this is a story about a city girl. She considers herself, at the time, considered herself a country girl. Well, no, she lived in a suburb of a major city. She grew up in that suburb. And we were kind of country-ish in that town. Sure. But it wasn't outdoor backwoodsy, I guarantee you. And she never lived the true country style where it was, we didn't have running water, or we had to use an outhouse, or we heated the house with wood, anything like that. Well, when we moved to northwestern Montana, I took my family out there and we moved out there, and we moved out there with other families. We got 80 acres. We're all moved on to that 80 acres. We're going to build houses, blah, blah, blah. That's a big, long story in itself. Well, anyway, everybody that moved out there, other than myself and my family, really didn't have a clue about what the true outdoors was. And we're moving into one of the great wilderness areas of the lower 48 here in the USA. Northwestern corner of the great state of Montana. Big sky country, right in the heart of the Rockies. Okay. Well, I decided I'm going to take my family up in the backcountry for a year. And a lot of people had heard those stories, some of those stories, because there's a lot of them. We stayed in this old turn-of-the-century log cabin that was falling over. We stood it up. We managed it, and we moved in and lived off-grid for a year on that mountain, almost a full year. And that cabin was rough. It was rough. It was built in 1906. There was no running water other than the artesian well that was behind the cabin. And this fellow over here, running water, my son, hence his name, Running Water. It comes from when we lived in that cabin because somebody accused us of not having running water. And I said, well, yes, I do. That's him right there. And I even demonstrated that we had running water. I said, running water, run out and get us some water. And off he went. And he would come back with water. So, yeah, it was rough. Our little cabin had an old potbelly stove in the middle of it. You couldn't get more than 3 feet away from it in the winter because it dropped down near freezing. The cabin, we could keep it above actual freezing, other than Running Water reminded me earlier today that he remembers, he was about 8, 9 years old while we were up there, and he remembers, oh yeah, every morning the routine was stand your mattress up against the wall so all the frost on the bottom of it would thaw out and evaporate before you go to bed that night. And there were times you'd wake up in the morning and the kids would say, can't get the mattress up against the wall. Why? The blankets are froze to the floor. Yeah, it was rough. It was rough. But we dressed for it. You dressed inside for being outside. So we didn't have to, when the kids said, I'm going out, you didn't have to yell at them, make sure to put on your coat, your hat, and mittens. Oh, hell no, they were already wearing them, right? That's the way you live. We were living off-grid, hardcore. Okay, now this city girl I'm talking about, her husband, her husband, her brother-in-law, and a nephew of hers. Those guys wanted to go elk hunting. So they asked me, will you take us on an elk hunt? And I said, well, of course I will. Sure, I love the elk hunt. I told them, I said, when do you want to go? And they told me what weekend. I said, oh, yeah, okay. Did you see the forecast? And they said, winter. I said, oh, yeah, real winter. They're forecasting 20 below actual temps and 40 below wind chills. And you want to go up in the high country? I said, I'm willing. I'm ready. But are you guys able? Yeah, we're ready. We're tough. We can do it. Now, these are city boys. And they would deer hunt every year, but they go stay in nice heated deer shacks. And they got 3 hots and a cot every day. And they go out and deer hunt for 2-3 hours in the morning and another 2-3 hours in the afternoon. And if they got chilly, they go back to their nice warm shack. Well, that's a whole different world. You living up on a mountain in the middle of northwestern Montana. So I thought, I'm good with it. I'll teach these guys a little something about hunting elk in the worst part of the year. Well, my one friend, it was his wife, the city girl. She was best friends with my ex-wife. And she said to her husband, I've got my sister's going to watch our kids. I'm going to go with you up there to Sty's cabin, and I'm going to stay with his wife while you guys go out for the whole weekend. 2 nights, 2.5 days. And I'm going to stay with her in the cabin. We get to catch up and visit because they're so remote. We hardly ever see each other. And it'll be fun. It'll be like a vacation. They came up. And I thought, we're going to be opening that door on the cabin constantly when these guys first get here. So I'm going to heat this place up. So I stoked the old stove, just stoked that thing. It was white. It had big white hot spots on the stove. And we got that cabin up to about 65 degrees in there. Well, that takes a lot of wood, man, and that little potbelly stove just kept feeding it, get it hot in here. And we got it 65, and everybody's like, "Oh man, is it hot in here? It's warm in here," because we weren't used to that. They get there and they just, "Oh, this is so cool. You live like, oh, you're the wilderness family. You guys are cool." And I'm thinking to myself, "You don't know what cool is." Yeah, you'll find out. Well, us guys got all of our gear together, and I said, "Let's get out of here, man. We got to get up in that high country and get our camp set up for tonight because we're not going to be up there hiking after dark." And I looked at this gal, and I looked at my wife, and I go, "Check that out." She's wearing her brand new pretty ski jacket that's white and pink, and she's wearing these white um, insulated leggings. They're like ski pants, but they look more like yoga pants, for Christ's sake. And she's wearing these cutesy mid-height top white winter boots with these fuzzy white fur tops on them. And I'm looking at her and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, do you stand out like a sore thumb up here?" And I said to her, I said, "Did you bring any other warm clothes?" And she goes, "What do you mean? I'll be toasty warm in this." She says, "I'm even wearing long johns." And she pulls out of her shirt, shows me. She goes, "Aren't they cute? They're pink." She says, "I got pants and top." And I could tell just by the material. Oh my God, she's wearing a pair of those. They look like long johns. They're not insulated. They just look like long johns. They're for looks. They're pink and they're pretty and they're thin. Okay, if you think you're going to be warm enough. I got the guys out of there before she realized what life it was like in that cabin. Because if I didn't get them guys out of there, I knew within an hour of her being in there, she's going to say, actually, I want to be taken home. My ex-wife told me about their stay. I'm not going to tell you about the hunting trip. I already did a story on that. But I'm going to tell you what she told me about their visit for 2 days. The very first thing the gal says, "Have you got coffee?" And my ex-wife said, "Oh, yeah, we got coffee." Pulled the old coffee pot off, grabbed the strainer, grabbed an old beat-up cup, plopped it in front of her, poured that old muddy camp coffee through that strainer and said, "It gets most of the grounds out." This gal's like, "Oh, okay. Do you have cream and sugar?" "Well, yeah, sure." She drops about a 4-gallon container, spins the lid off of it, and it's all sugar, it drops a spoon on that old rough cut wooden table and said, "And yeah, we got creamer." Pulls out a great big plastic jug of coffee, mate. There you go. So the gal had her first cup of our everyday coffee. Actually, she said, "It tastes really good. It's a little weird with the grounds and stuff in it, and it doesn't turn creamy colored. It turns kind of gray with the creamer in it." Oh, it's because it's so damn black. You got to put about 2 pounds of creamer in it. Well, so they started to chat, and she's asking the ex-wife, "How do you like it? How's it going?" And my ex-wife goes, "It's rough. It's pretty rough. It's tough. But actually, we're enjoying it. We're getting closer to each other, and yeah, life goes on. We eat good, and we enjoy each other's company, so it works out." And they chatted my wife said, for about an hour or so, and kept drinking coffee. And it started getting chilly in the place. And this gal says to my wife, "Why is it getting so cold in here?" And my wife says, "Oh, I didn't notice." Well, of course she didn't notice. She was used to it being 40 degrees in there, not 65. So when it got down to 50 in there, my wife's still thinking, boy, this is nice. Well, this gal's thinking, I'm freezing my tail off in here. She goes, is there any way to turn the heat up? My ex-wife said, oh, not for a while yet. That fire hasn't burnt down yet. And then once it gets down to a good coal bed, I'll throw a couple sticks of wood on it. And that gal goes, how cold is it going to get before you put wood back on it? She goes, well, we'll get it down to our typical temperature, and then I'll keep feeding the stove. And she said, and then we just maintain it at that temp. And she said, and what temperature is that? She says, oh, 40, 45 degrees. She said that gal drug her chair right over next to that stove. She wouldn't get more than a foot away from that damn stove. And she even melted the one arm of her brand new ski jacket because she sat so close to it. She couldn't believe it. She said, I'm freezing on one side, burning on the other. I can't. How can you live this way? And the kids are all running around wearing sweaters. They even got stocking caps on, and they're just, yeah, life as usual. And Wendy's going, why don't these kids all have pneumonia? What's going on? You guys are crazy. Okay. Well, the cold weather started to work on her, and she goes, I hate to ask, but where's the bathroom? I have to pee. Drinking all this coffee in the cold. I gotta pee. Oh, see that tarp in the corner of the cabin there? You just go behind that tarp, and that's the bathroom. The gal walks over, opens the corner of the tarp, looks in there, and sees a 5-gallon bucket with a lid on it. She lifted the lid and like, you have got to be kidding me. No, that's the bathroom. Don't worry, we got flushing toilet. Because running water, his other part-time job, because he only had to do that usually once a day, is flush the toilet. That means take it out, run it out to the pit, dump it. She came out of there, sat back down in her chair next to the stove and told my wife, I don't know what I'm going to do because I don't think I can pee in there. And the wife said, you're going to be here for 2 days, a little over 2 days. I think you're going to have to do more than pee in that eventually. And she said, and that's the only place you got to go unless you want to go out in that 20 below weather and freeze your tush off, peeing in around behind a tree somewhere. And don't let Sty catch you peeing north of the cabin because that's where our artesian well is. That gal finally had to cave in and pee in the bucket. Had to pee in the bucket. Well, that night, my ex-wife really felt bad for her because supper, she sat at the table. The wife said she sat it, and they had my wife had made like a goulash, a hot dish kind of affair, in a big frying pan on the wood stove, and, full of venison and noodles and stuff. And everybody's sitting at the table, big plates full of this nice hot dinner. This gal sat there with that plate in her lap and pulled her coat around the plate and reached through her coat and ate because she didn't want to lose a bit of that heat that was coming off that food. That just helped her. But she still didn't move a foot away from that damn stove. Bedtime. The ex-wife felt really bad for her. And she said, hey, kiddo, we'll sleep together. Sty and my mattress is right by the wood stove so we can tend it at night. The kids are right over there in the corner. But you can sleep in the bunk with me. And she says, and you should stay plenty warm. So they're going to get ready for bed. Wendy goes, oh, where can I change into pajamas? And my ex-wife goes, into what? She goes, my pajamas. My ex-wife said to her, no. You're going to bed in what you're wearing. You do not want to take that stuff off and lose any body heat. Just the transition is going to be a bummer. You don't want to sleep in pajamas in this place because you will be cold. You're not going to freeze to death, but you'll be uncomfortably cold. You want to go to bed wearing your long johns, the pants over them, the extra shirt, the jacket. She said, "I, if you got them, I'd put it." And she said, "I suspect they're thin, so you might want to put two pairs on, extra pairs on. But I'd put extra socks on and then not wear the boots. And in the morning, you bring the boots in under the covers for about 15 minutes, 20 minutes before you get out of bed. And then put the boots on before you actually get out of the bed." This gal was in shock, absolute shock. My wife told me, why don't you hug me that tight? She said she wouldn't let go of me. She was just like, "I'm dying, I'm freezing, I'm dying. I need body heat or something." And my wife goes, "I was getting overheated because of her body heat." She said, well, we were acclimated, we were used to it. And that gal learned. She learned real quick. Yeah, there's nothing easy. Nothing easy. But it sure gave you appreciation for life when you did get up that next morning and you're pretty warm in that bed because you know what it's like out in that room. That stove's only gotten a single piece of wood about every hour all night. And you hear mom or dad up and they're loading the stove, load her up and get her cooking hot, red spots all over the outside of the stove. And then they say, "Come on, kids, time to shake it out. We're going to fix breakfast." Give you appreciation for life. And you got up and you were hungry and it felt good to eat some hot flapjacks or oatmeal or something for breakfast. And you were ready for another day. This gal was like, "I am ready to go back to town and never even look at the woods again. I don't even want I couldn't give a shit." Now, I have to say, we went to visit them years later, 30 years later, went to visit them. And I said, "Do we get the guest room like we usually do?" They said, "Not this time. Look what we got in the backyard." Here they got this beautiful 40-foot RV. That thing was massive, big diesel bus thing, and electronic everything in it. And they said, "You get to stay in our new RV." I go, "What the hell is that thing?" And they said, "Oh, we're camping now. We go camping all the time now." I said, "That you're going camping in that house? Are you kidding?" She goes, "It's not that easy. We get there and we put the awning out. I got to drag a rug out of the storage and put it out on the ground. And we have a fire pit and we have a fire and we'll cook burgers and hot dogs over the fire." And so, it's not like we're not roughing it. You say, "What?" We stayed in that thing. And I told my ex-wife, "I haven't stayed in hotels this frickin' nice. And I've stayed in hotels that cost me $600 a night." This isn't camping, man. This is luxury. Well, we got to chatting before we headed home. And I decided to reminisce. And I said, "Wendy, you remember our stay up at the cabin when you came to visit for a weekend? And we went elk hunting and you gals stayed in the cabin for 2.5 days." She goes, "Oh boy, yeah. That was rough. Really, really rough." And I go, "Well, at least it was an experience for you." She goes, "You could have warned me how rough it was going to be." I said, "I never said it was the Hilton." Sometimes you got to listen for what they don't say. I didn't brag the cabin up. I didn't say you'll love it. It'll be so comfortable. You'll love it. I didn't brag it up. I didn't tell her she was going to spend the weekend at the Hilton. I figured, yeah, I'll allow her to experience it on her own. Well, she did. She did. And she found out, yeah, that's not the Hilton. That's not the Hilton. That's life the old school way. There you go. There's your Sty story for this evening. I hope you enjoyed it. She didn't enjoy it that much, but she did say it did end up being rewarding in the eh, for a life's experience. She would never do it again, but she did appreciate the fact that at least she got to experience it. There we are. Running Water's over there chuckling because he remembers it. He remembers it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah. The yeah, I see some
And it
of the
was so much
comments.
peaceful after she left.
Oh, I bet. I bet. The well, and I'm sure for you kids, and I wondered about that. I'm sure for you kids, it was like we're kids and we're enjoying this. Look at her, whiny. What's wrong with her? What's the big deal? What's that? You know, and I thought about that. I thought, I'm out there hunting with all of her husband and her brothers and brother-in-laws, and those guys were just as whiny as she was at the cabin, by the way. Um, but the the I thought about that many times. I thought my children in a crisis in the backcountry at that time, ages 4 to 9 years old, had a better chance of survival than her. She was an adult. And my kids probably would have come out of the backcountry going, "Boy, that was kind of rough. We slept under a log one night. And we did that, and yeah, we we ate trout almost all the way out because they're the easiest food to catch. Yeah, and she would come out just skin and bones, all beat the hell, probably got bear bites on her, and say, "Oh my God, I can't believe I actually survived. Oh, I'll never be the same." And my kids will be going, "Are we going to get to go back up? We found a really neat spot, Dad, that we can fish. Oh, you'll love it." And I thought about that many times. My children coped and fit the environment so much better than she did.
Yeah, yeah.
I
She hit me as the type that would come out of the woods with poison ivy on her butt, not
yeah,
knowing
yeah.
what leaves to use and
The
not to use.
the second star. I'm looking back at some of the comments. The I see you guys were interacting with the story. That's good. I'm glad to do that. I'm sorry, folks, but I don't interact with the chat during the story because after the stream tonight, this stream will be a couple hours long, but after the stream, I download it and I excerpt the Sty story. And then that Sty story gets clipped and it gets put into a group of 4 because I'm doing a video, in a sense, a video book. It's going to be volumes and chapters of all the Sty stories. We're over 200 right now, and then eventually, and the reason I do that and why I don't interact, sorry, with the chat is because all that has to be edited out because the Sty stories then are going to be converted from voice to text, and then they'll be proofread and edited, and it'll be put into the recorded will be put into audiobook, Kindle, and it'll also be converted into written volumes. So that's the plans for the future of all the Sty stories from day one forward. And I've been working on it. I've got volume 1 is done. I'm halfway through volume 2. And at this point, I got enough Sty stories. There'll be 9.5 volumes, but that's going to keep growing. I'm only 2/3 of the way through my Sty story list, so we got a ways to go. There'll probably be 15 volumes when I'm done. But looking at that chat, giving myself, I'm a city boy, and I know I would not last long. Me, devil, yeah. But the so cold that I had 3 dogs cuddled up with me under 4 quilt blankets. Second start, yeah. That I tell you what, that was one thing. We had 3 dogs up there, but they weren't allowed in the cabin. They had their own little dog house. The 3 of them, I found out, fit in it. I did a Sty story about that called 3 Dogs in a Cat House. Because it wasn't really a dog house. It was built for cats. And I had a big Akita. And I had a medium-sized border collie. And I had this little mixed mutt. All 3 of them managed to squeeze into that cat house when the Timberwolves showed up one night. Yeah. But they would have been a nice addition to have some heat. The Let's see what else stuff. Great comments, guys. Yeah, that was some strong coffee. We made strong coffee up there, and we drank a lot of it. I would buy my coffee. We were buying our coffee in these 5-pound bags, and I would buy 4 of those bags every month. That's how much coffee we're going through up there. Yeah. The oh boy, the yeah, getting up some days was hard. Yeah, yeah, there were days where I kind of do a head count, make sure everybody's still breathing, and say, "All right, you guys ready to get up? I'll load the stove. Can we stay in the bunk a little longer?" And I would always tell them, "I'll get the cabin warmed up. Then you guys will have to shake it out." I wouldn't make them shake it out when it was still bitter cold. Whiskey Nose, it is so good to see you. Welcome to the stream. The Nee Dibble says RVs are not camping. Well, I agree and disagree. Yeah, as long as I don't mind. They can come in with a $500,000 RV, but what are they doing when they get there? Are they in that RV all day and all night watching movies and playing PlayStation and doing everything they do at home? Or they come in with that RV, and the enjoyment of the RV is in the evenings when they call it a night and they're going to bed. Otherwise, they're outdoors, they're hiking, they're paddling, they're fishing, they're around their campfire, and they might be out bushcrafting or doing other outdoor activities. It's just a place for them to stay. It's a glorified tent. Because what is a tent? It's a place to keep the rain off your head and a place to lay your head down and sleep. It doesn't matter how fancy it is. Camping isn't what you sleep in. It's what you do in the great outdoors while you're in between sleeping, right? That's the way I see it. Yeah, wiping your butt with corn husks and dried corn cobs. Yeah. And if we found that, this is no kidding, the best corn cobs are the corn cobs off of popcorn. If you ever raised popcorn, not eating corn, popcorn for making popcorn, the ears are smaller, and once you husk it, you get all the kernels off. You can take that, rub it between your hands like that, and it's silky soft. It's the best corn cob if you got to use corn cobs. Yeah. Um, it, oh, Dean is asking if I picks of the old cabin. No, all my picks from Montana. I have very few. I have very few. Um, Take a quick peek here, see if I got anything. Um, no, I don't have anything in StreamYard right now. Any picks, but I've got very few picks from Montana. Everything was, I hate to say it, was lost. I'm not going to put the finger on why they're lost, who caused that, but they are lost. Yeah, Justin Anderson, a wall tent. I love wall tents, man. I spent 3 years out at Camp WTF, and I lived for 3/4 of the year in a Cabela's Outfitters wall tent that was 12 by 16 feet. Beautiful, beautiful wall tent. Um, Wood stove in it. Yeah, very comfortable. Native Kutsa. Oh, hey, sweetheart. It's great to see you. There's a girl I'd love to go camping with. I mean, yeah. I don't know if you know Running Water, but Native Kutsa was she lived here um, down around LCO. So yeah, she knows our territory quite well up here. Yeah. She was going to come stay with me out at camp. She had rented a campsite out at Beaver Lake, which was my second campground to host, and it didn't work out. She lives way out in Oregon, so it just didn't work out where she could get here. And she said, Sty, I'm not even going to cancel the reservation. I paid for it. You got to pay in advance, but you can get a refund. And she said, I'm not even going to. She said, if you got anybody that could use it, put them on that site. And she actually saved a couple. She did. Her site was available, and we had a rush on our campgrounds during that time. And she had it reserved for a week, and those folks got to stay for 5 nights because she wasn't able to be there for a reservation. And those folks were just so happy. And I did tell them someone from Oregon has gifted this to you, and they were thrilled. They were thrilled. The Justin Anderson, the Bears. Oh yeah, 180,000. That the one we stayed in that this gal got her husband to buy for her was $185,000, and it was 6 years old when they bought it. Retail on it, if they bought the exact same RV brand new, was $296,000. They saved $100,000 by buying a 6-year-old of the exact same model, all the features. I've seen them listed over $500,000. Yeah, yeah, and they are just homes. They're homes with rubber for a foundation. That's it. So,
I'm sorry. Camper costs that much. You better be able to cook me breakfast.
well, that's what I figured too. Is it better come with a chef and a maid? Yeah, that. That's when the kids pull out all the comforters and blankets and make blanket forts. Never stop the kids from doing that, man. Never stop. That is one of my fondest memories as a kid. My mother would come in the living room and she'd go, "Oh no." And I'd go, "What, Ma? I got to get over to that room over there. Part of your blanket fort has to come down so I can at least walk through. If somebody were to yell fire, we'd all burn to death in your fort." We had this big fan I was on these big legs, had wheels on it. It was a big fan. Man, I'd tie a blanket around the rim of that fan, and I'd turn that fan on and blow it up like a big ass balloon. And I'd take old encyclopedias because they're so heavy, to weight down all the corners and everything. And I'd be in there on a hot day. Oh, it's cool. And I'm in my big tent, my big fort. My mother never said, don't do that. Never said that. Because it's creativeness. Let kids create, The, the, me Dibble's got a border collie sleeping on my feet. That, yeah, comfy. The, oh yeah, Justin, that's chilly. Yeah, I go to bed and then wake up at 7. Yeah, 7 degrees. Oh yeah, chilly. Yeah. The all right. Right.
Yeah, Justin, I hauled several loads into Goshen, Indiana. Um, they've got a place up there called Renegade RV, and that's all they do is build the RVs on the chassis of the Freightliners or international, semi truck axles, and
Yeah.
and they're pretty nice. That would be the way I'd go. I'd want to have the same cab I've been living in this whole time. You know.
Yeah. Hey, hi, Dutch Prepper, and good night, me Dibble. You have a good one. Thanks for being here. The Yeah, Dean. That my clam shelters. One of them I got from Running Water, and then I went and bought this secondary one, which is just really, it's truly just a screen house because it doesn't have the rain flaps that come over the outer panels like the camouflage clam that Running Water has, and there's no floor in them. There's no, they don't have a canvas floor or anything in them. But if they're set up on the right site, you make a good site selection. The rain flies at the base of them are large enough. I never got any water inside of them. Man, you could sleep in them on the ground. Or just throw a tarp down on the ground. I love them. I love those clams. They're very nice, very nice. They're instant pop up. They're one man affairs, man. Pop, 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 pop. Ta-da! And it doesn't matter how crooked it pops up. It don't matter because then you just go around, pull the legs out square all the way around, stick the stakes in. You're done. You're done. And I did find with mine that they'll handle about a 30-mile-an-hour to 35-mile-an-hour wind without even putting out the tie-outs. But you get over 30 miles an hour, 35 miles an hour, you want to put those tie-outs out because it'll pop a panel in. You'll be sitting inside there and all of a sudden the wall goes boom, stick it in your face. The roof never has come down, but the side panels will, on the side the wind's hitting, will pop in. So if you tie those out, I've been through thunderstorms with excess of 50-mile-an-hour winds, and it just sits there and shakes a little. And it's because of the roundness of it, the design of it. The aerodynamics are good. Running Water and I were at L&M Fleet Supply one day, and we're looking, and both of us started nosing around, going in and out of all the clam ice shelters made by different companies and going, well, this one's nicer than that one. That was nice. And we're looking at the prices and going, they're all $300 or less. And we're all like, man, this would make an awesome tent, man.
Yeah, nice insulated panels.
Yeah. Never have to worry about keeping the floor clean either. It's naturally dirty. What the heck? But we lived Running Water, I'm sure remembers when we lived in 2 16-foot. They were hexagon mash tents from the Korean era, military tents. And they were 16-foot diameter, and there are 2 of them, and they were attached. that they attach. Two common doors attached to each other. And we had one room was our dining room area, kitchen with the wood stove in it. The back room was split in half with a tarp. Mom and pop on one side, kids on the other, and bathroom at the one end. And after living in it for about a month, we had a hard, compacted dirt floor that we would sweep. We swept the floor because it was hard, compacted dirt. It wasn't dirty. We swept the floor. The only thing you didn't want to do was mop it because, yeah, it's going to turn to mud. The drier, the better.
Yep, that's when we learned that square buckets aren't the best for indoor bathrooms.
Right. Now, don't give away anything because Shithead the cat is on my Sty Story list.
Oh.
Shithead the cat. Yeah. Yeah. You'll like that story, guys. The, oh, hey, that's more than okay. There's Second Star Survival. Love it. Love it. Share it out, folks. That's it. You know, and think about it with sharing out the stream. You're not sharing it out just for me. Share it out for yourselves. Get your friends, family, acquaintances to come over and hang out and chat like you guys are. You know, the more the merrier. You know, conversations get real interesting. The
Well, the thing, Justin, between square and round, when it comes to buckets for bathroom use, or well, and any use, a round lid won't go into the bucket, where a square lid can. If you turn it right, the square lid can slide down inside the bucket
into the
itself.
bucket. Yes, it
Yeah.
can, and we have
Yeah.
proof. The yeah, don't give any spoilers now.
Oh no.
Lori or Sheba says my mother used to make us go. I don't at the top of the driveway so that it was raining. So if it was raining or snowing, or just downright cold, we could sit inside our TVs while we were waiting for the school bus. So yeah, the round works excellent. I've got one in the Sty Adventure trailer that's got a toilet seat on it, and it works great. I put a biodegradable bag in it, and I can use it. Pull that bag, and I can dig a cat hole and a snake hole, drop it, bury it, and it decomposes within days, bag and all. And the seat on it, it's just like sitting on the crapper at home. Yeah, I mean, yeah, and it's just a 5 gallon bucket. That's the nice thing about it is if the bucket gets cracked or wore out, or you just go grab another 5 gallon bucket because the lid and seat system goes on any 5 gallon bucket. And in fact, the 6 gallon buckets are nicer if you like a high throne. Yeah, I'm looking for a 6 gallon right now. I like the higher throne, you know. And I've seen guys actually use them on the 4 gallon buckets, and that's what the squares usually are 4 gallon. And the thing with the 4 gallon is if the lid's not on properly and you push on a corner, it'll flip out. The lid will flip. So where the round ones, yeah, you set the round one on, it don't go anywhere when it's got a weight. It's some weight on top of it. The camp toilet you can buy, it's a plastic toilet seat with metal legs, and all you do is tie a bag at the bottom up. Yeah, you can buy those for home health care too. Yep. They're like for people that are bed bound. they can't get up and make it to the bathroom and back, so they'll put the commode that's just a set of legs with a toilet seat, and there's a bag hanging under it, and it sits next to their bed, so they only have to get out of their bed, use it, get back into bed, and then somebody comes and hauls that out. Yeah. The, and I've seen a lot of campers. They go down to their local health store place for medical aids, and they'll buy one of those. It's a medical aid for someone that's bedbound. They buy one of those, and guess what? It's out in their camp. That's what they bought it for. Yeah.
I'll be right back.
Oh, yeah. Putting a round lid on a square bucket or a square lid on a round bucket. Yeah, not a wise thing to do. Those don't work, do they? Yeah. Yeah, and sitting, I tell you what, for use, round is so much better. So, yeah, for that purpose, it's sitting on a square bucket isn't that much fun. The only problem is if you don't tie that bag properly. You're absolutely right. Hey, I'll tell you guys, this is a freebie. It's not even in my Sty Story list, but it could have been. But have you ever heard of a groover? I don't know if any of you have ever heard of a groover. Well, out west, some of the rivers out west, you are not allowed to defecate on the ground anywhere near that river. And they're great paddling rivers, canoeing, kayaking, rafting, and they have huge groups of people. But you're not allowed to poop along the shorelines of that river anywhere. You can't even walk a mile from that river and poop. You're not allowed. You have to pack it out. Well, we practiced this on the drill rigs that I worked out in Montana. Fortunately, we only had to do it for about 2 weeks. But we had a groover, and it was kind of funny. I looked into what is a groover and why is it called that. Well, what it is they take an old ammunition can, an old ammo can, military ammo can, green ammo can, and you open that can up. They got a nice rubber seal in them. They're watertight. They open it up, and you stick a heavy, very heavy weight, 30-gallon or 13-gallon garbage bag in it. You open it up, stick it down, and they line it with that. And you take that out to camp. Now, if somebody has to poop, they poop in the groover. You poop in there, you pull the bag up and over the sides, and you poop in that bag. Every day, it doesn't matter how many, we always said one groover for every 4 people. And at the end of the day, you take that and you leave the bag out and just close the lid till the end of the day. At the end of the day, then you lift the lid up, you pull that bag together, twist it around, and you tie it up tight, and you pull that out of the groover, and you pack that out with you. Poop, toilet paper, anything that goes in the toilet, other than pee, you don't have to pee in it. You don't want to pee in it. That gets packed out. Why do they call it a groover? It's because it's a long rectangular shaped box. You sit on that to use it as a toilet. You get up and you've got 2 grooves, one in each butt cheek from sitting on it. It doesn't fail. You end up with those 2 grooves. As one guy says, I got a triple crack in my butt, because of the grooves. Hence the groover. That's why they call it a groover, because it's going to leave those 2 grooves when you're done. Yeah. And In Texas, you can't defecate near water either. You have to go 2 miles away from the water and dig a foot deep hole. Yeah, yeah, there's a lot of parts, a lot of areas in the country where the um, the water systems are so fragile that they don't want any defecation close to the water system whatsoever. And I'm trying to remember which park it was that I was in. They actually required you had to defecate on a rock. You weren't allowed to defecate on open soil. It had to be on a rock, and you were required to smear it across that rock so that it would dry, and it burned. What it would do is burn a lot of the toxins out of it. They did not want it buried in the ground whatsoever, and it was again because of water issues. The 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 yeah, I'm not looking forward to tomorrow and Tuesday, man. 10 to 16 inches of snow. I've been hearing my phone sending off its warning signals. I don't know why it does that because, I mean, for crying out loud, if it hasn't changed, quit warning me about it. I mean, but it does. It keeps
Yeah,
keeps on warning me.
yeah, yeah. You have fun with that.
The I see the temperatures drop down to 19 degrees. Yeah. The from 3 o'clock Monday morning. That's this coming morning. 3 o'clock in the morning until now they've moved it till midnight Tuesday night. Oh my Lord, that means Wednesday will probably be snow blowing Wednesday morning. Because I'm not going to go out there and snow blow it, just have to go out and snow blow it the next morning. I'm going to do it all at one time. Um, but it says heavy snow expected, total snow accumulations 10 to 16 inches. The and the winds aren't supposed to be terrible, but it but bad enough that it says that there'll be patchy blowing snow that'll significantly reduce visibility. And then it says the hazardous conditions could impact the morning or evening commute. Oh yeah, there's a lot of people ain't going nowhere. Not if there's any wind associated with it. And it says the cold wind chills as low as 25 below zero could cause frostbite to exposed skins in less than 30 minutes. And it says it's a prolonged event that's going to come in 2 waves. So it's going to appear like it's over. Hang on, it's coming back. Yeah. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think I'll set a tripod and a camera up in the picture window here, and film the conditions as they progress, and just do a little video of, oh, we had fun. Had fun staying in and looking out. The yeah, the yeah. There you go. It might be a good idea to let the local kids do it for money, although nobody wants to work. That's it. Where I
Well, that's why I started having tenants, and then also I don't have to pay the kid to come down and clear.
and do half a job.
Yeah.
And that's it. Is if it wasn't for running water and Travis from Tales of Campground Host helping me, I had a couch and a bed and an old desk that needed to be taken to the dump. literally for over a month. I'd see two young guys standing on the street. I'd stop, get out of my truck, walk over, talk to them, and say, "Hey, you guys want to make some quick money?" Oh yeah, they're interested, right? I've got a couch, a a bed that's real easy because the only thing actually to carry, where you might want more than one guy, but even one guy can handle it because the top mattress, it was a sleep number bed. Pull the airline on it and it folds up. And you just carry it under your arm. I told them, couch, the bed, and a desk. You carry it to my truck. My truck will be right outside the door. Carry it, put it in my truck. I'll tie it down. You guys jump in the truck with me. I'll take you out to the dump. I'll pay to get rid of it. And then I'll give you guys, I'll give you $50. That's $25 a piece. And you're not going to have an hour tied up. I think that's more than fair, right? An hour getting it down in the truck, unloading it. That doesn't take but for half hour to an hour. And they're going to make $25 each. Where the heck are you going to find an off the cuff job paying you $25 an hour? Every one of them told me to F you. We ain't doing that shit for that kind of money. That's cheap. I said, are you freaking kidding me? I see you guys standing out there on the street corner all day, every damn day with a thumb up your butt, whining. And I walk by, I hear you whining about, oh, I wish I had a few dollars. And you whine about not having any money. I come and I basically giving it to you because you're not going to put a lot of effort into this. And you deny it, you turn it down. And I'm not kidding. I spent over a month and I must have approached 8 or 9 people about doing it. I mean, and I even jacked the price up to $30 per person. And if they use their own truck, I'd throw an extra 30 on it. So I'd pay $90 to have that hauled up. No, not enough. So I gave up. I gave up. I said, if I abandon this stuff, the landlord is going to charge me $100. They charge $125 to haul that stuff up. But it looked like that was the only way I was going to get rid of it, is to force my landlord into a bad situation where they have to deal with it. And that didn't feel good to me. I just didn't like the idea of doing that to them. And Running Water and Travis, they come and they did the trick for me because they're old school. Hey, give each other a hand, And I flipped Travis a couple of bucks for gas in his truck because he had to drive almost an hour here and an hour home. And I gave him some money for his time and travel. And he didn't want it. But totally different people. Second Star. Isn't that's disheartening when you try to help somebody out and you're really offering them something and you're the one taking all the risk by offering, and then they turn it down. And it tells me, I've learned that inside what it tells me is, if you're not willing to help yourself, buddy, I don't feel bad for you. You can sit out there in the freezing rain in your old cardboard box in that back alley and whine about being homeless. But I tried to help you and you said no. You said, I ain't doing it for that. I'm better than that. Look at you. You're living in an old refrigerator box. You're better than what? You're better than the $25 I was willing to help you out with? I don't feel sorry for you. I'm sorry, but I don't. And I might be getting old and cynical, but doggone it, I could never be that way through my whole life. I had people ask me to do things for them, and they'd say, "Hey, I'll give you $20 if you do this for me." And I go, God, I hate that. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do it. but they wouldn't be asking me if they didn't need it done, you know. Yeah, I'll help them. I'll help them out. And then tell them, keep your $20, you know. I just helping you out. If I needed the money, I'd come to you and say, hey, you got something I can do for $20, you know? And life worked for me. I mean, I, so what's wrong with working for life? Uh, um, yeah, yeah, yeah. You gotta when they approach you, when they approach you, that makes me a little nervous. Um, if they approach me and I feel the approach is legitimate, then I'm a little less cautious about them. It's when I approach them, I'm offering. When somebody's coming and offering, yeah, to me, it's a whole different thing. If they come to you and they say, "Hey, you got something I can do to earn a couple of bucks," and you're thinking, "Geez, you know, I really don't have the cash right now to pay for anything to do," and you have to tell them, "No, that's all right, man. I just can't. No, I just don't have the money, man. You know, eh, good luck. You know, finding something to do." But if I'm looking for somebody and Cheesehead, you saw it, didn't you? Cheesehead jumps in. Hey, Sty, can I have my money? We got your 401k, pal. We got your 401k. I can't wait this summer. We're giving that to you, man. And we're going to make you reconcile the whole thing. Make sure you got all 401k. Yeah, I betcha. The, yeah, trading labor. I've done that in the past. Done that in the past. I had a fella. He's a great wrench man. Boy, if you needed repairs done on a vehicle, and I had something that I needed done, I didn't want to do. I knew I could do it, but I just didn't want to go there. I didn't want to do it, and I knew he could. And I asked him. I said, "Hey, what would it cost me to get you to come over to the house and do this on that one car for me?" He goes, "Huh? What's it going to cost me to get you to bring your riding mower over to my grandmother's place and mow her yard for?" I said, "You know what? If you fix my car, that's worth 3 mowings, man." It wasn't a single dollar changed hands, but Grandma got her yard mowed 3 times, and I got my car fixed. It worked out like $1 million, you know. Yeah, if cheese was currency, sometimes it can be. Oh, that's something I got to do, man. If I don't do it before you get home running water, we will have to run to the stagecoach just so I can get an order of curds, man.
Well,
And
I'll have to go anyways because I'll need an order myself,
and I just
and
really,
it's best if they're fresh. You know.
I, we can get them and sit there and you can eat, if you want. But mine, I'm taking home because I'm not gonna sit and try to choke on them publicly. But
Yeah.
but no, after we got them home, those were just as good to me. I mean, they were great. The
Well, and I usually get food to go anyways. I hate eating in public. I don't want to deal with other people or they
yeah, yeah.
come in with their muling poo larva and
Yeah, it's a lot. And here it's comfortable, man. You get on that couch with the two recliners kick back and you just eat at your leisure. Yeah. The
yeah. I'm in Kingdom City, Missouri right now, Ben.
oh, native Kutsa. Uh got an older gentleman in a wheelchair, gives H2O out in the heat of the summer for donations. I always stop and give him $20 for a 20-ounce H2O. That is so slick, man. That is so slick. We were talking about that in Yoren's stream yesterday, and I was talking about there. There was someone I was chatting with on there. Was talking about in his community, they started what they call exchange boxes. They build this sheltered box, and if you've got, let's say you got a lamp in your living room, you just want to get rid of. You ain't got a lot of stuff to get rid of. You just got that lamp. You ain't going to hold a yard sale for the lamp. And you don't want to mess with posting it on Facebook Market or on Craigslist or not. You just want to get rid of the damn lamp. Well, you can take it down to that exchange box and put it in that exchange box and look at what else has been put in there. And if you see something you like, take it. It's an exchange box. People put usable items they just don't want anymore in there. And then he looked to see if there's something they would want. And he says it goes so slick, it's gotten to the point where people are leaving food. He says you go there and local hobby farmers got a few chickens, but they produce more eggs than his family can eat. He don't want to mess with trying to sell them. He'll date the carton and put a carton of eggs in there. And he'll look and he'll go, oh, geez, look at there. There's a big, awesome head of cabbage. He'll take that head of cabbage home with him. People are putting garden stuff and things in there, and people are exchanging. Somebody will come and grab a dozen tomatoes, and they'll leave 2 dozen cucumbers, and somebody will grab the cucumbers and leave a couple of squash. I thought that was awesome. I thought that was absolutely awesome. And the thing is that's one of those, no questions asked. They're asking about second star was must have been asking about cheese curds. Never had cheese curds. What's it taste like? Oh, they're very rich, very cheesy. I love them raw. Actually, that is my favorite way if they are fresh and they squeak when you chew them. You know you got good ones when they squeak. The next way I prefer them is deep fried, but we've got a restaurant here in town. They are the best deep fried cheese curds I've ever eaten. They are to die for. The next way I like is to throw a handful of them in a microwave safe dish and microwave them for about 15 seconds. And they soften right out. And then you still can pull them apart, but they're stringy like mozzarella. And we get cheese curds that are white cheese curds, yellow cheese curds that are flavored, jalapeno flavored, Mexican, almost chili flavored, ranch flavored. You get all these different flavors.
Oh yeah. Well, and poutine. You know. Yeah.
Now
that's a whole different.
Poutine. They can keep that in Canada. I back when I would have been able to eat poutine, I like poutine, but I wouldn't like it all the time. The Canucks eat it all the time, man. That's almost like a mainstay up there. And first time I ordered French fries and they brought me poutine, I'm like, what the hell's with all the gravy on my fries? You guys fucked it all up. There's cheese curds in there. What the hell? Yeah. You said you wanted fries. Yeah. Just French fries, please, and a bottle of ketchup. Oh. I suppose I got to pay for this thing that you brought me. Sorry. And they go, oh, no. There's a guy right down at the end of the counter ordered poutine. He'll get yours. Shoom, down the counter they go with it. Because don't worry, it don't go to waste in Canada, man. They love their poutine. Oh, yeah. Oh, Ben, what did I do for work? I was in high finance. No, well, okay, now wait a minute. What haven't I done for work? Through my lifetime, I've worked in almost every single field that exists out there. My career, not what I've done for work over the years, but my career, and it was a little over 26 years. I usually round it up to 27. I was in high finance, and what I did was what they called risk financial recovery and management for Native American governmental units. It's where if they had a big embezzlement that happened or their financial structure would collapse, I would go in, audit the whole operation, write all new policies, internal controls, restaff their accounting division, and get them back on their feet. And I did that for 26 and a half years. Sty can't hold a job. Yeah, you can't hold your tongue either. That's cheesehead talking. I can't. The the oh, that's a shame, Native Kutsa, that the lactose intolerance gets in the way of you enjoying cheese. That's a bummer. That's a bummer. Yeah, I could. I've got a few friends that have lactose intolerance. What you got there? You got a bean board going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
been staring at me like, what the hell are you doing?
Now you go to a large plant that's producing cheese curds, and they'll do separate runs: white curds, yellow curds. And don't anybody say don't anybody say they're only yellow because they faked the color that it's dye. That is not true. It's a true cheddar. It's a true yellow cheddar. It's natural. Or there's white cheddars, and they run them in separate batches. And not all curds start out white. The milk they use does,
Mhm.
but through the processing they'll turn
Yeah, it
yellow.
just depends on the culture that's being
Right.
used.
Exactly. Exactly. And I've had people arguing, no, you're full of shit, Sty. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Okay. Okay. I only went through the tour of the plant and got the whole fucking skinny from the guys making it. So I don't know shit. Okay. In fact, we were talking about that in that stream yesterday. When I lived in the Sty Shack out at Camp WTF, I made some of the most awesome. I loved it. I didn't put enough salt to it. So I made a second batch and got a little more salt to it, and it was to die for. But I made mozzarella cheese out of powdered whole milk,
Hmm.
out of powdered milk.
Right.
And I ended up doing it because the gal that she makes homemade candles, homemade soaps. She's a true farmsteader, and she makes all these cheeses, goat cheese, and every variety, pressed cheeses, soft cheeses, hard cheeses. And she was there visiting, and she said, you know, that's one of the problems here is you don't have refrigeration, so it's tough for you to keep cheese for an extended period of time. And she says, but there are some hard cheeses that'll last you for quite a long time. And I said, yeah, but making them here is a pain. If I could make cheese on a per cheese basis, where, oh yeah, I'm going to make a batch of cheese that's going to last me for so long, then I'll make another batch. Then I would do it. She goes, well, why aren't you doing it? I said, I don't know how the hell to do that shit. Plus, where am I going to get the milk? I said, I live out in the middle of the boondocks. I can't. It's 40 miles to go get milk. I ain't going to that. She goes, you got all the milk you need. She points at one of my shelves, and I've got 12 big boxes of powdered milk up on that shelf. She goes, you got all the milk you need right up there. So she hung around and walked me through it, and we made a small batch of mozzarella. And I was amazed. I was freaking amazed. So we talked about that in a stream about being self-sustaining and survival. Well, in a survival situation, and you got no electricity, no refrigeration, but you got a can of spaghetti sauce and you got some flour. You'd like to make a pizza, but it's going to suck without cheese. Oh, but we got powdered milk. We can make some mozz, fresh mozz, and put on that, and it's good. The
Yeah, well, I remember, um, out, when we're out west, you you guys having us kids taking turns passing off the mason jar of cream because we're making butter today.
uh-huh.
You know,
Yeah, yeah. In fact, we did that. You were only 5 years old at the time, and I can remember you sitting in the kitchen with the quart jar making butter because we had all them dairy farmers around us when we lived in Lublin, Wisconsin, and I had a couple of them. I go and I check their farms out and how they cared for their cattle, and they weren't pumping their cattle full of hormones and penicillin. And I would get a gallon of whole milk, and we'd let her sit in the fridge overnight and get the cream separated off, pull the cream, put her in a quart jar, stick it in the little 5-year-old running water's hands and say, "Start shaking, boy. What do I have to do to scare you enough? Shake that faster." Hey, you have a good night, man. The second star keeps 40 boxes in its preps on any given day. So much you can make with powdered milk. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. The I did a Sty story called Bad Boy Scouts Breakfast. You should watch that. Find out what you don't want to make with powdered milk. I had a stupid ass scoutmaster that all of us scouts. Oh, it was a terrible event, man. We were staying in this huge log cabin, all of us scouts, and we are there with the scoutmaster. And the scoutmaster thought he was a master of everything, and he's making our first breakfast out there. Well, this dumb kid, he told that kid, "I want that syrup warmed up. You put those syrup bottles by the fireplace." Well, there's a big, huge stone fireplace with a big ass fire rolling in it. That kid stuck them bottles in the coals, but never loosened the caps. So it didn't take but about 15 minutes, and we had syrup bottles exploding in the fire pit. Saved enough of them that, yeah, we'll still have syrup for our pancakes. And he starts yelling, "Okay, guys, pancakes are ready." And I went in there, standing in line, guys are getting their pancakes. And he drops 4 of them on my plate. The 4 of them stacked together about that thick. I said, "Those aren't pancakes. They look like crepes, for Christ's sake." "Ah, they're pancakes. Quit complaining." I went out, sat down, poured some syrup on them, took the first bite, spit that shit out. Said, "That ain't no pancake, man. That is the nastiest crap in the world." I went back in the kitchen and said, "Nobody's eating your pancakes, man. Can't eat them. Everybody's eating the sausage and bacon, but they won't touch the pancakes. They're all going to waste." And he goes, "I'm going to make them guys eat the pancakes." I said, "I don't think you can force them. They're not going to do it." And he goes, "There's nothing wrong with these." He says that they're just not fluffy like they usually get. And I looked up, and on the shelf above that big wood cook stove he's making pancakes on, I go, "You didn't use that blue box, did you?" He go, look. He just took a quick glance. He goes, "Well, yeah, that's pancake mix." And I go, "It doesn't say anything on this end of the box, but on the front of it here, it says powdered milk." He was dumping that powdered milk in and stirring it till it got thick enough that he could scoop it out like pancake batter, but it would just flatten out. It was pure powdered milk pancakes. And right next to that box is a box that's got a green and yellow design on it. And it was, I don't know, Krusty's or some brand, you know. That's pancake mix, that box next to it. And they're about the same size, the two boxes. He just didn't pay attention. He grabbed that box, pancake mix. Yep, made pancakes with powdered milk. Ooh, yuck. Running Water knows that he drank enough of it, I guarantee you. But that's one thing we did all the time out in Montana. Well, we actually started it on the farm, but when we moved to Montana, we really put it to use. Take a gallon jar and you make your own, or you're using cocoa, regular cocoa, and powdered milk and sugar, and you get it all mixed together in a big gallon jar, and you put a couple tablespoons in a cup, fill her full of hot water, stir her up. Well, in fact, we would load it up with the mini marshmallows right in, shake it in with it, and you just, yeah, hot chocolate, man. And people would come and visit us at the cabin. They'd have a cup of hot chocolate, and they go, "How do you keep your milk?" We keep it in the box. Yeah, powdered milk, and it was awesome. It's awesome.
Yep. And it's the creamiest hot chocolate you ever had.
Yeah. Oh,
Yep.
that was our secret ingredient because we put a large portion of coffee mate creamer in with the mix, and it made it extra creamy. And oh, the kids loved it, man. Loved it. the We did it. There was a lot of necessity experimentation when we lived out west. One of those, and my kids, they they still mention it quite often. I think I'll try that down the road here after I'm even a little more settled in. Being that I found a full gallon tub of awesome lard in your kitchen that has never been opened. Uh huh. I think I'll make me some Rocky Mountain donuts, man. I always made bannock. I love bannock, fry pan bread, you know, or over the campfire. I just love bannock. Well, the kids, they actually started kind of complaining. Not, they didn't complain much about nothing, but they were saying, you know, Dad, there's nothing sweet. You know, we want a snack, but there's never anything sweet living up here. The sweetest thing we got, because I'd buy it by the case, are sweet cereals. And the wife would give them each a cup full of sweet cereal for a snack. Well, that gets boring after a while. And they're going, wish we could get something sweet, cookies or something. Well, we don't have an oven. We just got a wood potbelly stove. I got a wild idea. I made a big batch of bannock mix, prepped it all like I'm going to make bannock. I could have put it in a 24-inch frying pan and it still would have been 4 inches thick. It was a big batch. But I took that big frying pan, filled that sucker full of oil, and got her at the right temp on that wood stove and started taking tablespoons of that bannock batter out and dropping it in that hot oil. But what I did was I took my bannock recipe, which is very basic, just flour and there's baking powder and salt and a little touch of sugar. That's all it is. Well, add a little nutmeg, some cinnamon, take a paper sack, dump a bunch of sugar and cinnamon in it, take tablespoons of that mix and deep fry it, drop them in that paper sack and sugar them up. And I'll tell you what, you give that to kids, they'll just about chew your fingers off to get the next one. And the kids, they coined it Rocky Mountain Donuts. You know, and the first time I heard them say that, we were visiting people down in town, and One of the kids had a Ziploc bag with like 3 or 4 of those Rocky Mountain donuts in there, and they took one out and they're eating it. And one of the kids in town said, "What are you eating there?" "Rocky Mountain donut." And all of a sudden, everybody's asking, "What the hell is a Rocky Mountain donut?" "It's what my dad makes up in the cabin." Yeah, yeah. Strictly out of necessity, man. It's the only way to get my kids something sweet to eat. And so they got a form of pastry in a sense, you know. And they loved them. They loved them. The Ovaltine, yeah, yeah, Ovaltine. Those were the days, man. Um, yeah, two. Well, yeah, Justin brother out of the two, but the fresh milk, but powdered milk has saved soldiers and citizens in every war and food crisis for years. That's it. That's it. You know, I would I prefer fresh milk? Oh, absolutely. And I love whole milk. I love fresh from the cow, whole milk. All these people, oh, that shit'll kill you. You're going to end up with a disease. Yeah. Oh, fuck off. I mean, Jesus Christ. All the things that are going to kill us would have killed us back in the fucking medieval days. There wouldn't be people left. Everybody would have died of all these damn diseases that everybody says you got to undo today. You got to pasteurize and homogenize your milk, or otherwise it'll kill you. It'll get you sick and you're going to die. Well, then why are we even here? Because everybody, not some people, everybody drank raw milk. Shouldn't they have all died and none of us have been born? All right. Come on, get real. Get real. Um, yeah, Jersey whole milk. Jersey, the two cows that I want whole milk from are Jerseys and Swiss, man. Uh, you get cow's milk from a Jersey or a Swiss, now you got some cream. Boy, I'm telling you, you got some awesome milk. Awesome milk. I've had Jersey milk where the cream cap on that jar in the morning was so heavy. Same with the Swiss cows. I've taken the cream off of a gallon of Swiss cow milk, put it back in the fridge. The following second day morning, I got another 2 inches of cream on top of it. I mean, to get it down to about 2%, you're going to have to separate it mechanically to get all the fats out of it. Um, the Yeah, Justin, I don't know if that causes it or what, but yeah, it's just again, it's again. I If something in your food is going to screw you up, figure out how to deal with the screw up. Don't screw with the food, you know. Oh, we're going to take all the taste and nutrition out of it so that you don't get this. Well, no, just figure out how to fix this, and so I can keep having that great taste and nutrition. You know, the
Well, when my ex was going through all the nutrition stuff, for her surgery and all that, the nutritionist, you know, real nice guy, and he was taking and saying, real simply, if you want to eat healthy, don't eat anything that has its own commercial. You know, if the food has its own commercials, it's not good for you. You
isn't that probably not good for you? Yeah,
He's like, you never
but,
see any commercials for the veggies or your fresh meats. He's like,
right.
you see plenty for the box stuff and you
Yeah,
know
yeah,
and fast foods and stuff. Yeah, but so yeah,
yeah,
if it
yeah,
has an ad, has commercials, stay away from it.
yeah, yeah. They've done shit to it. the the Lori Sheba B is saying, I like fried dough with powdered sugar on it. Oh yeah, that's good. That's
Hmm.
good. You know, another thing my mother used to do, I'd tell her, Ma, I really want something sweet and nummy, you know, but not store bought. Something that I don't usually get. And she would always surprise me with something. One thing she would do, she'd make a big batch of pie dough, right? Pie crust dough. And she'd roll out pie crust and she'd cut it just like you're cutting cookies. She'd cut it into different shapes, stick it on a cookie sheet, throw it in the oven, and she'd do a whole batch of pie dough that way. But before she threw it in the oven, she'd sprinkle it with sugar and cinnamon, stick it in the oven. And all you were eating was this flaky ass pie crust with sugar and cinnamon on it. It was to die for. I'm not kidding. I'd go to a bakery and buy that shit if they did it. The How simple, how simple. Another thing I had that I'm going to try. Just because for me it'll be easy to eat, and I want to see if my mind and my taste buds can recall it as being as good as it was when I was a kid. My mother would make cream mush. All right. Now, most people don't know what the hell you're talking about. What's cream mush? And she would use whole milk, put it in a saucepan, maybe a couple of cups, and you want sifted flour, and you bring that whole milk up to a nice hot temp. But you gotta be careful. You don't let it curdle. You just want it to get hot, and you start to add that sifted flour, and you just keep it going, and you just keep mixing it, and it'll start getting firm, thick like pudding. You know. Then you take it off the heat. You add a little bit of sugar, throw a little cinnamon or nutmeg in it, stir it up, put it in a bowl. It's steaming hot, and it's just mush. It's creamy mush. Stick a slab of butter in the center of it. Pour a little cold whole milk over the top. Sprinkle some sugar and cinnamon on top of that, and eat that shit. It firms up, and it's just like, oh my God, was that? It's nothing but milk and flour. That's all it is. Just
That's
a
that's
bread
one step
pudding.
away from
Oh,
glue.
yeah, it's a step away from glue, the flour glue. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, the pasteurization process. And that's the reason for pasteurization and homogenation. Why it didn't exist sooner, people kind of wonder, because the process could have been done 50, 100 years before it even started. What they did, the one reason it didn't start is, and why it did, is because they started providing milk to the masses, cities, and when you're collecting, holding, bottling, shipping, and then the person in the city wants to be able to keep their milk for a week, milk aged quickly. So they had to come up with processes that actually gave milk shelf life. And it was for the city slickers to have milk. That's what it was all about. High Second Star says milk's supposed to be warm, not chilled. Uh, for those of us that are weaned, we like ours cold. My uncle used to say that all the time. Anybody that drinks warm milk hasn't been weaned yet. the fry bread, Justin mentioned fry bread. I love fry bread, man. I love fry. Hey, worked for the Native American tribes for 27 years. You don't ever kid yourself. This old boy he ate a lot of fry bread, and in those days, I looked like a stack of fry bread too. Man, I ate like a king working for the tribes, man. Yes, sir. A buddy of mine would take fry bread and he'd make what's called canoes. And he'd take a piece of fry bread, pat it out, ready to drop it in the fryers, punch the center hole, drop it in the fryer. He'd take that piece of fry bread and he'd put dates, raisins, all kinds of different things down the center, fold it in half, pinch it, then drop it in the oil, and then fry it. And they'd come out all done just like a regular piece of fry bread, but they'd be and moon shaped. And if you turn them kind of upside down, they look like a canoe. And they're stuffed full of something sweet, you know. And that old boy would make 4 or 5 dozen of those canoes and invite a bunch of people over to play cards. And he'd put out a big old platter of those canoes. And he'd have a shaker of powdered sugar if you wanted to add powdered sugar on your canoe. And you'd ask him, what's in them? Hey, he says, luck of the draw. And man, you grab a canoe and you bite into it and you go, oh my God, that's good. These dates that he'd use, they were cooked down in sugar. They were, and then, or you get one and you go, holy shit, that's blueberries, man. That's that's cherry. He'd make, like I said, he'd make 5, 6 dozen of them damn things, and they'd all be different stuffings in them. And I loved them, man. Canoes. I miss that old boy. He was a great guy. But yeah, bread pudding. Just answer. I love bread pudding too. I love bread pudding. I love egg custard. I think I'm going to try to make a small batch of bread pudding. See if I can swallow it, eat it all right. Because man, I love my bread pudding. Yeah, and it's so easy to make. It's not. Yeah. The
Yeah, it wasn't until I rolled out that I realized I forgot my bread and stuff up on the top shelf there.
Guess where
Turned
that
around.
ended up? I've got a fresh loaf on the counter right now. Yesterday, I was supposed to make myself grilled cheese. I'm going to try eating grilled cheese again. I am craving it so bad. I ended up on a live stream for 9 hours. And by the time I got off there, it was 10 o'clock at night. And I'm going, I am not making a grilled cheese at 10 o'clock at night. And so there's a kettle with a can of soup in it and that nice square griddle that makes 4 grilled cheese at a time on it, sitting on the stove, just pretty with that loaf of bread on the counter there. And I'm like, yeah, screaming at me, you son of a bitch. Wouldn't you love to have one of me? Piss me off. Yeah. So Tuesday, that's what I'll be doing is hooking up that new soundboard and having myself a grilled cheese and a bowl of soup. See how it goes. I hope it goes well because I miss my grilled cheese. Even if all I can eat is one, I'll be happy. I'm slowly getting braver and testing certain foods, and it's just a matter of getting down how I eat things, and I'll get there. Damn it. Yeah. I yeah. I don't know. I haven't eaten yet today. I've nibbled, and you're going to see me nibble a little bit now, trying to get some sugars in me because I know my blood sugars are probably low.
Yeah, all I had was that $8 lasagna.
Oh, that was crazy.
Yeah,
That
well,
was
I've
crazy.
got a second one sitting here.
Oh, you went with 2?
Yeah.
Big spender, small eater.
Yeah, well, I don't have a choice. That's all they had in there.
Yeah. And and I say small eater, not by choice either. I mean, 2 of those. Yeah, 2 of those is not a lot for you to eat. Hey, good night, Sheba. Lori, you have a good one, girl. Don't mind me if I'm looking down quite a bit here. I'm testing my blood sugar. I'm going to see where it's at. That'll tell me how many ice cream cones I can have later. That, that is one thing that Sty is very happy about is my blood sugars. My per test is perfect. My average is a normal person as if they don't have diabetes. And that's the first time in so many years that it just, I thought it was the meter. And I've got 4 meters that I own. So I decided one of there. Yeah, I've been eating candy all evening, and my blood sugar is 90. Perfect for what I've been eating. That is amazingly low. Um, yeah. Lori says raisin bread. Love it. There you go. You're just killing me, girl. Raisin. I like raisin cinnamon swirl bread toasted. Oh yeah, with some homemade strawberry preserves. Oh my lordy. Or just honey. Uh-huh. Butter and honey. Oh, you guys are trying to kill me, aren't you? It just
Well, I lucked out the other day. There's a little Friday when I ran uptown. There's a little church group out front of the Best Buy that was selling baked goods, and got myself the thing weighed about 2 pounds. A loaf of the zucchini bread.
oh yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, I gotta go to Walmart and get myself some salted butter for it.
Yeah.
You know,
Here you go.
I
That's
didn't even slice it up. I'm just like slathering
gnawing
some
right off
butter on there.
gnawing off the loaf. Yeah. That was a gal that she brought me a loaf of banana bread out in camp. Her and her husband owned property right across from the campground, and they would come walking through the campground every day. That was a routine of theirs for exercise. And one day she dropped off a loaf of banana bread. Oh, was that from oh my God, that was so good. And I did, and I sliced 2 slices and buttered them up. Next thing I know, I was doing just what you were doing. Put the butter on the loaf and take a big bite out of the loaf. I told myself, you ain't sharing this with anybody anyway. Yeah, cinnamon toast from the bakery. That's like, what do they call that? Those little toasts that you buy. You buy a bag of them. They're just
All
little,
those Selma toast.
yeah, Selma toast, and you can get them just normal or cinnamon sugar. Um, as kids, man, we ate the hell out of them things. Uh, yeah, that and rye crisp. Nobody seems to eat rye crisp anymore. We used to get rye crisps all the time, and we loved them with like cheese spread on them. Oh my gosh, the what? It's super familiar. What is a Swedish rusk? I mean, um, it, it's just screaming at me. Uh huh. Is that what they call those toasts? Uh, I still think it's funny that in England, their chips are our fries, their biscuits are our crackers. I mean, I think they're bloody crackers.
Yeah,
Oh, you think
yeah,
that's the cinnamon
crisps.
toast? Okay, cool.
Yeah, or biscuits and cookies.
Yeah, yeah. hmm Oh, I can't believe it. I ate 2 biscuits. Were they smothered in sausage gravy? What the hell would you do that for?
Yes, and a muff isn't something you wear over your face.
Uh, some people. the We were talking about that on Yoren's stream yesterday too. Is way back when Yoren first started is really getting into streaming, and I appreciate it, man. We had fun. We had. I don't remember any of it. Uh, yeah, I didn't learn anything from it. Let's put it that way. He um he was trying to teach us Americans Swedish. Oh man, was that a hoot! I was there for every one of those streams on his panel, sitting right next to him. How do you say that again? What does that mean? It all went well till we got into the numbering, right? When we got to the number 6, Crazy Ann was on the panel with me. Oh boy. Oh boy. Yeah. No, it's not 6. It's pronounced the other way. Their I's and E's, they get them mixed up. And boy, that conversation went south in a hurry. The Just like this gal from New Zealand that used to follow our channels all the time. I'll never forget it. She was on Phil's channel, I believe. And hi, Native Kutsa says, I just gained 10 pounds listening. I wish I could gain it. Yeah, that's cool. It's true though, girl. Yeah, you feel like the. I notice when we get chatting like this, I either feel totally starved at the end of the stream, or I have no appetite. I'm full because my mind pictures eating all that food. But where was I? Son of a bitch. I totally forgot where I was at. And I'm not rewinding to figure it out. The fish and chips, yeah. Fish and chips, yeah. The I miss so many foods, man. I I want fresh fried fish. I want some walleye, some northern pike. I really do. But I can't get small enough portions for me to prepare. I hate to waste food. And I know I'm only going to get, if I'm lucky, 3 or 4 bites. And the rest of it's going to go in the trash. The I was thinking running water. I don't know. We'll see when spring comes. But you had mentioned that you didn't see a problem with it. But what do you still think if I got myself a little mascot to keep me company?
Oh, that's cool.
I think Beaner's always going to be the boss of the house, man. And I would be getting a small lap, a small lap dog that Beaner will probably be 3 sizes bigger than that dog. So and being so friendly, and he likes the other dogs at the doggy spa. And I've been thinking about it, and I'm thinking I think I want to try to squeeze it in the budget and get a little companion, uh, um, and that I think will help me too. That when I eat something and there's so much that I can't eat a full helping, at least I can share that with a little companion. Certain foods,
Hmm.
and have myself a little vacuum cleaner. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and it also helped justify. I was planning on getting or putting up like a little dog run area.
Oh, a dog run. Once we get this side of the house cleaned up,
Yeah.
the we got all that space back there and stuff, and we can come down this side of the house, and you can put a dog run anywhere on the property. Then it's because it'd be so accessible.
Yeah, I
That's
just thought, something that, it'd be fenced in, could have,
yeah,
a shade area, maybe a little
yeah.
doggy pool in there, and it's like, yeah, let them play outside while we're outside doing stuff.
That's
So
it. You'd be out in the yard for hours, and instead of them being tied up and so limited, you just turn them loose. Yeah, I like that idea. I like that. The speaking of a little vacuum cleaner, your little Dirt Devil vacuum cleaner,
yeah,
I grabbed that bugger. I was going to vacuum the living room throw rug.
uh-huh.
I sat down and I opened the canister, thinking, well, I'm going to probably have to empty this. Nobody's ever used it. It's brand freaking new. I pulled that filter out. There's not dust. There's no dust or nothing in it. It's brand. I smelled it. It smells like plastic. It's never been used, and
Yeah,
it's sit. It's sit.
I bought that right before the ex moved. So, put it together, but she never used it. She moved out like
Ah,
2 weeks later, moved down south. And,
and there it was. And
yeah.
your brother, yeah, he had two big vacuum cleaners. Never used either one of them. And I've got a good mid-size. It's a small, but it's about mid-size vacuum, smaller than the two your brother had, um, but bigger than that little red one. But I was amazed that thing's brand new, and so I'm kind of excited. It'll get put to use here. I'm going to give it a shot, And but yeah, I was surprised that bugger is brand new. Eh, sweet, sweet, sweet. The
Yeah, I have a lot of stuff in the house that's brand new and never been used.
I'm learning that. I'm learning that. The and the surprising thing is, yeah, a lot of it are things I won't use. I won't, yeah, I won't be using them. But then there's some things that it's like, oh man, I wish your brother would have used it. you know, he would have kept a much nicer house for you um, by using some of the things you have here. And yeah, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. You getting home on the third, right around the third. Yeah, only have you home for 6 days, the but it'll be a good visit, good interim visit,
Yep.
Then you usually come back home, what, around July?
Actually, end of May, usually right around about Memorial Day weekend. That's right around my
Oh,
birthday.
oh, that's right. Yeah, yeah. And then after that, it's the end of July or something, midsummer, late
Yeah.
summer. Yeah, yeah. That'll be kind of cool though, because you coming home near the end of May, right around there. That's spring. That's spring, and there'll be some things I'll have done out in the yard, and you
Well,
get
and I'm hoping the weather's nice enough at that point because I want to get up on the shed and finish that other half.
that yeah, the and it'll be nice because it'll be just the right time of year. Things are budding, and leafing out, and we can walk through together and talk about what you want done here and there around the place, and then it gives me a while before you come back again to try to get some of those things out of the way and done. Yeah, I enjoy having those kind of like they're like endpoints that, oh, we need this and this done, and I can say, oh yeah, I can do that in 2 months or 3 months, or I it gives me a reason to get up and do shit. Yeah, Justin said that he ate way too much today and feel hungry again. That boy, I used to be that way, man. I used to. I do miss those days. I didn't care. I My ex-wife would tell me, "Are you eating again? Leave me alone. I love it." I love to eat, man. I just, I truly did love to eat. The
Oh well, last night at the banquet, they had prime rib,
Oh yeah,
for us, and the guy that was dishing it up, he was giving us, you know, well, didn't care what you look like. He's just giving you this big old slab. I'm like,
ah,
okay, I appreciate it, but I can only eat about half. You know,
oh wow, yeah,
well, I was there cutting it up into little strips,
uh huh,
and had one of the gals there. It's like, I've never seen anyone cut up a steak like that. And I'm like, well, just wait. And I pulled out a Ziploc bag out of my pocket
uh
and
huh,
shoved it in. I'm like,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
I'm surprised it didn't say bean on the bag.
He's like, my co-driver will eat it.
Yeah, yeah. It this is this, I share my dinner with the co-driver.
It's
That's
like, it's not like they're gonna take and serve it to someone else. It's just gonna get thrown away. You
that's
know,
right. That's right. And that's the thing is if it's not over seasoned and crap, it's good for bean. It's not,
right?
yeah. Uh, See, that's the way I am too. That's my mascots. That's the way it was. Is like what I'm having when I would sit and have summer sausage. They get a little piece, here and there, very little. But if I was eating, I would make jerky that wasn't overly seasoned or heavily salted, and I'd give them chunks of that. Go ahead, you could chaw that down. It's almost pure venison or pure beef, and that, yeah, that's yeah. Good to see you out there, Guani. The
Yeah. Well, yeah. Joe had me wanting to get dehydrator like what he had gotten. That's
I got
that.
I got a dehydrator up in our cupboard now that
Oh,
I had, and um, I just got to find everything for because I know the grinder and stuff like that is out on the back porch,
yep.
and the seasoning I don't know where that is. I did not come across it.
I'm wondering if it's not in that closet in the office because there's stuff that's missing from in there.
Uh huh. Sure, sure.
And that's the only
And
thing that makes sense because I haven't seen the stuff anywhere else.
right, right. And
Like
that's
that big
it. Is
broad tablet. Yeah.
we still have a couple of areas that we haven't explored yet. Your brother could have stuffed it somewhere. In a couple of these areas we just haven't been able to get. And we haven't taken the expedition and headed in. but yeah, I figure if I could find we get your jerky system already. I'll get it and I'll figure out a shelf for it in the kitchen, so it's all together. And then some wild day, I'll get a wild hare and I'll go buy myself some great lean beef and grind her up, make some jerky, and put it in that dehydrator. Yeah, the
Yeah, because I know I've got enough seasoning for like 50 pounds worth of jerky. So,
yeah. I see Justin saying he wants to get that big dehydrator that Cabela's sells. Do some
uh-huh.
big jerky batches. Well, see, that's one thing. Once our yard is done and I can bushcraft in the backyard, I'll probably throw a jerky smoker up. They're temporary. They're only up while you're smoking, and it's a teepee style. And I can rack prep about 30 to 40 pounds of jerky at a time on one of those. I did it all the time out there at camp. In fact, I think you saw my smoker standing there
Yep.
when you visited. Yeah. Um, And I love using that natural smoker for making my jerky because that's where my maple syrup jerky turns out the best.
Mhm.
A little bit of maple syrup and some good red hot peppers. It's got a little bit of bite and a lot of sweet to it, and it turns out nice and chewy. And people love that. And that was the one jerky I couldn't keep around. I'd tell them, yeah, if you want some jerky, there's 6 bags of it on the counter in the kitchen there. And they'd go over and they'd check it out, and sure enough, they'd hit the maple jerky and steal that. They wouldn't take some of each. Where's the maple? Where's the maple? They'd steal my maple jerky. And they don't realize that shit's not cheap. Maple syrup isn't cheap. For my jerky, I just salt, pepper, crushed fine ground red peppers, and a lot of times I'll use a sugar cure or I'll use maple syrup, and I'll marinate it in the maple syrup seasoning. And I typically will marinate it for 2 days. Then I take it out, pat dry it, and then I put a fresh sprinkling of salt and pepper, coarse pepper, salt and coarse pepper on it. And the spiciness of the red pepper is soaked into the jerky. And it's not hot, it's just got a little kick to it. And then on the racks it goes. Love it.
Yeah, for me, yeah, for like the pre-mixed seasonings, I I I found I really like the High Mountain brand. They tend
Mm-hmm.
to be pretty consistent, and then and they have variety packs, so you get 3, 4 different types of seasoning in each
Right.
box.
Yeah. Yeah. High Mountain's good.
And that's what's sitting somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like I got 3 different variety packs.
Yeah. Jerky. Jerky. The Gotta love jerky. The and I'm one people that used to rib me all the time. I don't like jerky that's like shoe leather. I want to be able. It needs. If I take a bite, my own saliva should reconstitute it enough that I can chew it. That it's not an effort to try to eat. And that's like I said, I love Bannock. Don't give me a heart attack because I ain't eating it. That hard shit, I ain't eating it. They ate that shit through the whole Civil War. I'm surprised that, over 600,000 people died in the Civil War, and I think about 350,000 of them died from eating hardtack. Uh,
Hmm.
yeah, I ain't eating that shit. I've tried it. I've tried different batches that different individuals had made. Oh, mine's better than that. Oh, here, try it. Just about bust your teeth on it. I've taken it, broken up in chunks, thrown it into a stew, thinking I'll let it reconstitute, turn into some kind of dumpling in there. Oh fuck no, I don't even do that. I mean that shit, yeah. Beef
Yeah,
sticks.
I actually I actually
Yeah.
made a former friend mad with his jerky. He gave me a bag of jerky he had made. He's like, "Yeah, it's so great, you'll love it." Yeah, I tried it, and yeah, it was like rock hard. Like take it with your hands, snap it, and it's just like shrapnel flying everywhere. Yeah, I got I'm sure you saw it up on the shelf there. I got the mortar and pestle up there.
It's on the
Use
counter.
I used that to pound that jerky down to powder. and then you know mix it in with stuff. It's like adding protein to other
Yeah,
things.
yeah, yeah. That it's great. It's great if you want to add some turkey flavor to a soup or something.
Yeah. It's good for making a beef base for a stew, and
Yeah, yeah.
making a broth or
That's it. Is find a purpose for it, but don't try to eat it the way it is. The oh yeah, I love venison jerky, man. I kill for it. When it comes to jerky and sausages, venison, I just oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. I love my venison. Yeah. The oh really? A shooting situation, second star. That's nuts. Just so you're aware, second star works security detail and at a place that is very high security and has to deal with certain things that occur there. Yeah. The when we were chatting yesterday, he's walking around giving us the public tour, what he could show us, and it's pretty interesting. He's got himself into a very interesting line of work. Yeah. We had a great conversation together. Yeah. The, it's nice to talk to somebody that has a good understanding of certain things. Yeah. Boy, I tell you what, it's been a long time though. That stream I was in yesterday, we covered so many topics in that 9 hours. We were all over the board. It was absolutely crazy. Oh, Rebecca, good to see you. Well, you're never late. You're never too late. You know, yeah, we're going to be going for almost another 20 minutes yet. So, no, you're not too late. Good to see you, girl. Some people came, poking their nose around the loading docks. Shame, shame, shame. Get out of there. Yeah. Yeah, Justin. Yeah. Do that. Catch Swedes next string. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Joran's good people. He's good people. Um, a lot of good people out here in YouTube land. I got a lot of followers that live in bad neighborhoods. And they find that they can come on here and find people of like mind and people that understand what they're going through and they feel safe on here. And that's cool. That's cool. Hey, Native Kuts, we'll see you in a minute. Be right back. Native Kuts has got this awesome little log cabin. I watched she gave a walkthrough of it. And I thought, man, I could live there, man. I could live in that. Been a long day, Rebecca. Yeah, you were up late Friday at Sam's birthday stream, but it was a good time. Yeah, I caught parts of it. I was in and out, in and out. Yeah, the yeah, the yeah. Rebecca shows the sleepy faces there in her comment. Oh yeah. I feel that way tonight. I actually feel sleepy, not just tired, just sleepy. Uh, um, And I didn't do a lot today. I was supposed to get my bedroom here at the house all squared away. It's a nightmare. I got moving totes stacked up all over, and I've got pictures leaned up against the walls, and clothes that aren't put away, and I've got a clothes cabinet kind of thing I got to assemble and put together, but I can't do that till those totes are moved and out of the way, and I got to get a big cabinet I have all full of stuff. Well, actually, two cabinets full that are in those totes. Get all that in. And I was going to do that. I was going to do that yesterday. Spend the whole day doing that. No, I spent an hour on one stream, and I was trying to shut everything down and get busy and get that room straightened out. Ended up on another stream that lasted 9 hours. So guess what? That room didn't get touched. I did a tiny little bit in it today, and that was it. So Tuesday is storm day, and I got a couple of things I'm going to do around here on that day off, waiting for the snow to stop. And hopefully I'll have that room finished, or close enough to finish. Like I told Running Water, the rest of the house I figure is at 80% of where I would like to have it, so that it's easy to just maintain and keep the way it is, kind of thing. But right now, it'll be dramatic for Running Water to come home and find his house the way it is, which I'm glad. Thank you, Rebecca, for sharing it out. Second Star's got to go do a report on the incident. And you betcha, buddy. You betcha. We'll catch you another time. I totally understand. You got a job to do. Yep. 16 inches by Tuesday night. Now they had it till 9 p.m. Now they adjusted that out to midnight Tuesday. So, and they're saying it's going to come in two waves. You're going to get the first heavy snow, then there's going to be a break in it, and then there's a second heavy snow, and it's supposed to start tomorrow morning. Well, early in the morning. So we got about 48 hours that we got going to be dealing with this weather. And you should see, Justin. I took the snow blower and got it around the front steps of the porch, put that bugger in reverse, walked her right up them steps, and it's parked right here on the porch outside the front door. And I covered the motor, so she's all covered. Once it quit snowing, I fire that baby off, and off the porch I go. And I'll have myself a good. I figure it'll take me probably 2.5 hours to do the whole place with that much snow. And I could be wrong. That might be a little too conservative, because that's a lot of snow if we get 16. The blower does real good with about 10, 12 inches. But over that, it slows you down quite a bit. I mean, because that's a lot of snow, man. Especially when all the paths we have, right, Running Water, out to the street, around and along, and all the way to the back of the house, back up against the back porch and all around there, and then the whole parking area, and then a long path off to the other end of the property and up to the alley and all up there where our garbage cans are. And so there's a lot, and around the adventure trailer, I keep that cleared out so I can get in there if I have to. And it's a lot of freaking area to have to snow blow. And with that, I got to get both trucks out of the back of the property into the front of the house so I can do the whole parking area. That in itself could be a pain in the neck here. What is it tomorrow? Oh, it's the stinking odd day. So technically, by city ordinance, I'm supposed to park on the opposite side of the street. The Maybe I'll do that. I'll park on the opposite side of the street just because it seems like nobody wants to park over there. So I'm going to park there, and they're going to have to kind of go around our vehicles just to be an ass. Yeah, why not? Those pines across the street from the house, that big row of pines, that whole snowbank along that side of the house, you look everywhere and it's just white. Everything's just nice white everywhere, except that long snowbank on that whole, almost a full city block of pines. It looks like white chocolate chip cookie. I think every pine cone on them damn trees fell off. It's all speckled with pine cones, the whole stretch, and a lot of them. I'm glad I don't have to snow blow that shit. Be shooting no ammo out of that thing. Boop, 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 boop. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean I like those trees being there, but it's real bad during pollen season.
yeah, yeah, yeah. They create a mess. They create, and then if you're parked out front, that shit is all over your vehicle. Um, yeah. Well, it even gets them in the back here, the wind.
Right.
And the thing is, them being on the west, the prevailing winds come from that direction. It blows all that shit right through the yard. Uh,
Yeah, yeah. The whole house will be covered. The vehicles, that front window will just have this yellow coating on it.
yeah, yeah. The No,
It's like,
Justin.
huh?
Yeah, the the snow that we got just a day or two ago, we only got about an inch here, and it was, yeah, it was just like powdered sugar, man. It was so light and dry, but we had 45-mile-an-hour winds, so it was just solid whiteout constantly. Um, this snow that's coming, I'm hoping, I got my fingers crossed, looking at the temps, it should be a fairly dry snow. So that'll help for removal. Uh, I prefer it to be a nice, lighter, dry snow, especially if it's really deep. Snow blower will just fly right through it. It's the wet, heavy shit that really lags you down. Even those snow blowers, it's a two-stage, so it does pretty good even in the heavy, wet stuff. And it's a smaller snow blower. It's not a big sucker. It's a regular homeowner's smaller snow blower, but it's got plenty of power. The I would say the motor on it actually has more power than it needs. The
Yeah.
the auger size and its its wheels drive are a little undersized for the motor it carries. So and because it's got a narrower cut, all the paths are double wide. They're all cut double wide. In fact, the one path is 2.5 wide. The- yeah, that's one thing it taught me too, is doing it around the house. Which trees definitely have lower limbs that got to come off. Yeah, they got to get out of there. I walk around there totally forgetting. Whack, whack, whack in the face. Damn it. And it's not like it's a bunch of them. It's odd ones here and there sticking out over where you are going to walk. And all it takes is a lopper and clip. It's gone. And you don't have that anymore. But my youngest boy, he didn't want to trim nothing. Yeah. The,
Yeah, yeah. The yard got smaller when he was there.
yeah, yeah. I was looking again the other day, and I could see where the weeds are sticking up through the snow, and you can tell the weed edge, you know. And I'm going, shit. There's spots where you lost maybe 3, 4 feet a yard by him not trimming back and being able to get up to the edge of the yard. But there's spots that are like 12 feet.
Uh-huh.
I mean, man, your yard is going to be so nice and big when we get done with it here. And yeah, it's going to be really nice again. The yeah, I like I told you earlier, I'm kind of excited. I can't wait for spring. I can't, just can't. Yeah, I lost a foot every mowing. Yeah, just getting a little farther away. See, if he had weeds that grew too tall, that running water dropped. But if he had weeds that grew too tall, like say the grass is 4 inches, he's gonna mow, and he had weeds that were 10 inches. Well, the weeds outgrew the grass. Is all that happened. Is it grew just because of the nature of them? They grew faster. The mower can handle them. They're not that big. They're just 10 inches tall, and they're not everywhere. But instead of mowing those weeds down, he'd mow out from them. More weeds would grow the next week or two, and he'd mow out from them. And and then the first weeds of the early season, now they got stalks on them that are a half inch around, and you're beating the hell out of your mower trying to knock them down. So this spring, I'm ready, man. I'm ready. I'll lop off every one of them weeds, and yeah, we'll have her well knocked down, and we'll be able to run that riding mower right along the edge of our tree line, and behind our shed where my boat's leaning up. I looked at that, and actually you can't walk between my boat and the tree line there because it's all thistle bushes and shit, and all that's going, man. Anything that doesn't belong is gone, man. And thistle bushes and weeds don't belong. They're gone. They're gone, 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 gone. And I got a garden rake, man, and I shall go get myself a couple of pounds of grass seed. And there's a couple areas that once them weeds are gone and out, it'll be raked and seeded, and we'll have lawn. Yeah. And it'll stay maintained. It'll always be lawn, man. I can't believe that we lost so much of our yard. The- and the
Yeah.
side of the house where if you would have just kept up and got that brush bucked up, we'd have that whole side of the house. It'd be beautiful in there. But now there's hundreds of saplings growing off of those root base,
Yeah.
the original stumps. Hundreds. And I looked at that and I'm going, I was thinking I'd just go out there with my camp saw them all off. And I thought, no, I ain't. I got that electric Atlas. I'm going to go in there with that electric. That went down wrong. But that electric I have is lightweight. Zing, 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 zing. Cut all that crap out of there. The We'll get our yard back. Yeah. Yeah. I like a nice yard. I like knowing that I can go out and sit in the yard and just relax. And the so yeah, I that's I just had a notification come up, and that's stupid. Ah, Jesus. Yeah, that is pretty stupid. I got a notification that a certain channel went live. That it is live. No, it ain't. It quit streaming over a half an hour ago, and I just got the notice that it's starting. Boy, YouTube, you're right on top of it. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Yeah. Well, folks, we're at the 3 hour mark. I think we got to wrap it up here. Sty does have to eat something yet today, and it was a fun evening. It was a fun evening. We talked about a lot of different things, and running water. I am so glad that everything worked out that you could be on panel with me tonight.
Yeah. I ran out of my first set of Wi-Fi, because I was piggybacking off the shop here, but they closed at 10.
Oh,
So the computer shut down. So no more pirated Wi-Fi.
yeah. They don't leave it run 24/7, eh?
No, not at the truck stop here. So
That's one thing they did here in Ashland that really kind of pees me off is the public library used to have public access Wi-Fi. Well, they still do, but you got to go in there and they change the access code to it every day. And you got to go into their front counter and get the access code, and you have to sit in the library to access it. It used to be that I actually did upload probably, 3 or 4 dozen videos parked out on the street outside the public library. Just upload my videos. That's when I lived out of camp. And now you can't do it. You can't access it unless you've got that code. And you can go in, you get the code, you walk out that door. Well, first off, you walk in and they'll say, and what are you going to access with? So you got to tell them my phone or my laptop. They give you the code and they see you walk out the door. Guess what they do? They change the access code. No, you're not. You're not walking out of here and using it outdoors. I don't know why they're that way, why they've done that. But that's kind of a bummer because it was nice that, God, I got to get something come up on the phone and I go, hey, yeah, but I need a little bit of high speed. So I'll just go park by the library and I'll get on it. Can't do it anymore. Buggers. Nasty buggers. So we're going to wrap it up. And old Sty is going to call it a night. And yes, Native Kutsa, you have a fantastic night too. Newfoundland Drone Productions. It is great to see you. Sorry, we're shutting her down. It's been 3 hours. Yeah. And Ingles family was so patient. They come in and Rebecca, hoping they were all late, weren't late. Yeah, no, that you were all, you came in fine. It was so good to have you all here, and I hope to see you again. Now it is Sunday night, so tomorrow night at 5 p.m. Central Time is Sty Times. We're back on Sty Times. And then after that, Wednesday night is another Sty Times. And then Thursday night is Around the Campfire. So don't forget. And if you ever forget what my schedule is, go to my YouTube homepage, hit the About tab, and it gives you my scheduled streams. So you'll never miss one. If you subscribe, ring the bell, you got it covered. Okay? Okay, guys. Hey, it was great having y'all here. Running Water, again, thank you very much. And congratulations, Trucker of the World of the Year.
Of the world.
Trucker of the World. Yep. So until later, guys, I'm going to grab this gal in the fur coat, and we're going to do the shuffle on the way out the door. And I'll see you all again soon. Bye-bye.
Y'all.